Hello everyone, my name is Conrad on behalf of Camera Stuff. Thank you for joining yet another one of Camera Stuff's live. So it's going to be an interesting night, I think, because I'm surrounded by a few hundred flying ants. So it's one of those times I think in a half out when the rice ants come out. So not rice ants, the fire ants. Good job. So if you see some things buzzing around me, I just know that I have a bunch of flying ants here joining me tonight in this live. All right, so if you are joining me, please do introduce yourself. Please tell me your name and where you are from, so I know who I am talking to tonight. So tonight we are going to talk about the AK-R1 kit. Sorry, should I repeat the AK-R1 kit from Godox? So what that specifically is a flash modifier kit that uses magnets but attached directly onto the flash head itself. So I'm just going to wait until a nice crowd builds, so then we can get started tonight. So as a reminder, if you have questions to ask, please do ask them in the comment section, but also introduce yourself. State your name. Tell me where you're from. Okay, I think we have a crowd building. So I'm going to start off by showing you a video. So this is a video I did at the start of the lockdown. So that does bring back quite memories. All right, so I'm going to start that video right now. All right, there you have it. So nice little short video basically explaining how to use the AK-R1 kit on different flashes. So let's get started with our presentation, shall we? All right, so the Godox AK-R1 kit is a magnetic modifier kit. So that includes a variety of different lighting flash modifiers that are designed to shape the light in different ways. Each of the modifier attaches to the head, or the flash head, should I say, using magnets, making it easy to use and to change out. Not only that, but you can also stack these light modifiers as well. So there's no need for any sticky tape or Velcro or cinch bands whatsoever. The light modifier itself just simply snaps onto the front of the flash head. All right, so typically designed for the Godox range of round head flashes. So that would be the Godox AD100 and the Godox V1, and also the H200R round head attachment for the AD200. However, with the Godox AR1 adapter, you can fit these range of light modifiers on most flash heads. So I'll show you how that works just now. All right, so I have the Godox H200R attached to my AD200 here. So with any of these light modifiers, as you can see, they're attached just directly onto the flash head itself. So no Velcro, no sticky tape required whatsoever. So it just snaps on directly as such. And as mentioned, it also gives you opportunity to stack light modifiers as well, thus giving you even more options as to how you want to craft your light. Now, let's say you don't have a Godox round head flash. You can use any standard speed light as well, as long as you have the SR1 attachment. So these are available for quite cheap, but if you want to buy everything together, the kit and this attachment, we do have bundle discounts available as well. All right, so with the SR1 attachment, that just clamps onto the flash head. I just want to get that in focus. Let's pull up that mechanism and tighten it like that. So this will have magnets as well that will accommodate the AK-R1 kit. So even if you don't have a fancy Godox round head flash, you can convert your standard speed light to accommodate these light modifiers as well. All right, so just to reiterate, they use magnets, so that gives you the ability to stack these modifiers, and they attach rather easily onto a flash head. Right, so with extra convenience, no cinch bands, no Velcro, no sticky tape required whatsoever. All right, so let me go back to my slideshow. Okay, so just some talking points I want to get through here. So as mentioned, easy to use. The magnetic modifiers stick directly onto the flash head. The modifiers can be stacked to create a combination of unique flash effects. The modifiers can be turned around the rim of the flash head as well. I'll show you how that works in a moment. And obviously can be used with a variety of different gels as well. Sorry, something I forgot to mention. So let me get the bounce card here. So because it's magnets, you can turn it around the flash head. So you don't physically need to turn the speed light head itself. So it's just a lot easier and convenient to turn the modifier, in this case the bounce head, sorry, should I say the bounce card, so you can reflect light in the desired direction. Get my slideshow back. All right, so if you have a round head flash, so it's either the V1, the AD100, should I say, AD100, or the H200R round head attachment for the AD200, these just snap directly onto the front of the flash head itself. So you can see some examples here. This one, as you can see, specifically used the V1 with the AK-R1 kit. So get a whole bunch of different accessories. We'll go through all of them one by one. Okay, but as mentioned, if you don't have a fancy round head flash, you can use your standard speed light with the SR1 adapter. Attach that to the front of the flash head, and you can accommodate all of these fancy magnetic modifiers. There you can see examples of it. So it's also the AD200 with the Fresnel head as well. You can attach the SR1 adapter on that as well. All right, so I'm going to go through all of these accessories one by one and where you typically use these accessories. So I took some photos with Cracked Common. You may see it in the background here. Yeah, this is my dummy head called Carmen. Probably have seen her around. She's very useful in the studio environment. Slideshow. All right, so you get a whole bunch of different accessories. So all of them packed within a carry case. So you can see on the screen here, little carry case. Just as some advice, take a photo of how everything was arranged within that carry case, because I don't know how they managed to fit everything inside of it. So once you start taking the modifiers out one by one, it's a difficult game of Tetris to get everything back in that case. So just take a photo and see how everything was arranged in the first place. Thereafter, you'll know how to pack everything back because it's a bit of a squeeze. Okay, let's talk about the snoot, shall we? So the snoot creates a very directional spotlight effect. So you basically take the entire blanket of light and you constrain it into a spotlight. And with the snoot, it has a rubber collapsible design. So that allows you to use the snoot in different stages. So you can basically spread the amount, the size of the circle in a manner of speaking by adjusting this phases of the snoot itself. Let me show you what that looks like. Okay, so here's the snoot. So it's a collapsible design. So as is, it's going to create a very, very small spotlight. But if you compress it like that, it's going to create a slightly bigger spotlight. Okay, so just allowing you some extra options. All right, so here is the grid. So that just creates precise and direct lighting. So it just constrains the amount of light and just brings that amount of light into a spotlight effect as well. So not as extreme as the snoot, but the grid just helps to prevent light spillage. So if you want directional, precise lighting, the grid, the honeycomb grip is incredibly useful to do that. All right, so in addition, you get a bunch of gels, specifically 3 CTO gels, CTO standing for color temperature orange. So that is designed to help combat tungsten lighting. You also get a plus green, which helps you to combat fluorescent lighting. So what I mean by combat is that you can use these gels to balance out the ambient light. So if you're shooting in an environment that uses tungsten lighting, you can attach the appropriate CTO gel onto your flash head, and that will just balance out the tungsten lighting of the environment. Thereafter, you just need to choose the correct white balance. Same thing with the plus green. So if you're shooting in a typical office space that uses a lot of fluorescent lighting, you can use that green gel on a flash head, and that will just help out balance the fluorescent light. All right, so the barn door is a very classical light modifier. So that includes adjustable hinge doors. So that just allows you to block light or to spread light wherever you want. So you can open up the light or you can close light from different directions. So for example, you can close light from the top or from the sides, or you can close it from all 4 directions. All right, so that just helps you to block light or to open light wherever you need light to go or where you want light prevented to go. All right, so the classic diffuser dome. So this doesn't do much of a job if pointed directly at your subject. It's not going to change the quality of light that much. However, if you pull up your flash head and aim it at a ceiling or a wall, the light just creates a nuclear bomb effect, right? So light will go in all directions. So it will bounce off walls and ceilings and it will create a very soft blanket of light on your subject. I do have results of these. I'll show you in a bit. But this is the magic of the diffuser dome itself. So the light goes in all directions. So it goes up, sideways, it bounces off walls and ceilings, and it will create a nice blanket of soft light on your subject. However, when aimed directly at your subject, it's not going to make a big difference. All right, so the bounce guard is a useful one. So that just helps you to block light going into whichever direction. So let me just grab one here. All right, so this is the bounce guard. So mine is a little bit mangled up over time, so it's a bit folded, but still does the job. Now, the cool thing about this is that you can take it out and you can reverse it. So you can have white on one side or black on the other side. So the point of white is when you want to bounce light in a desired direction. The point of the black side is if you want to block light from going in one direction. Okay, so it acts as both a bounce guard and a flag, which we like to call the photography world a flag. So a flag is just basically a light blocker. Okay, so incredibly useful, this bounce guard. Can be used to bounce lights. Typically used again when you bounce light off a ceiling. So when you pull the flash head up, aim it at a ceiling, that bounce guard will just allow some of the light to go directly at your subject. So just to fill in the shadows and to create a catch light as well. The diffuser plate, similar to the diffuser dome, but doesn't spread lights in all directions. So it is a bit of a diffuser, so it helps to reduce the hotspot effect. Okay, I made a mistake here with my slideshow. It should not say rubber collapsible design, so apologies for that. Yeah, so the point of the diffuser plate is that it just diffuses the lights ever so slightly. So the point of the diffuser plate, I think it works well in combination with the other light modifiers. So as mentioned, you can stack these. So if you want to use the diffuser plates and a grid, that will create a soft, semi-concentrated beam of light. All right, so these are separate purchases. So this is not included within the kit itself. So you can buy a variety of different gel packs specifically designed for the AK-R1 kit. So get these round ones. We have a color temperature one, so that just helps you to balance out ambient lighting. Or we have the special effects kit as well. So that just includes a variety of different vibrant colors. Now, included in the AK-R1 kit, you have a couple of transparent discs. So the point of that is to sandwich the gels in between those transparent discs. Okay, so if you buy any of these gel kits, so they'll be cut to size. We'll use these transparent discs just to sandwich that gel in between them. Okay, now if you don't have these gel packs, what you can do is use gel offcuts. So if you have some gel pieces lying around, you can cut them to size, to appropriate size. So you can cut them in a circular shape, and you can use them for the same, with the same transparent discs as well. This is something that I did. So I used the gel offcut. I cut it in a circular shape. I don't think I did a brilliant job with it. But then you have these transparent discs. What you need to do is sandwich the gel in between. That just locks the gel in place. So let me get that in focus. All right. However, I figured out a much easier way, and I'm going to tell you a bit of a secret now. So we have these gel packs available. They are specifically designed for the Godox optical snoots, but you can use these with the AK-R1 kit as well. In fact, it's a lot easier. So get a pack of square gels. Let's get my face back. Now, so get a pack of these square gels. They're easier to use because you can just simply trap them in between any of these light modifiers. So you can see what happens here. That's easier to manage. That's easier to do as opposed to cutting out gels and sandwiching gels in between transparent discs. So you can just take one of these square ones and just trap it in between the magnets. So let me show you that again. So we have these square gels. Just hold it in place, and you can use any of these. Let me use the grid. So you can use the grid and just trap it in place. There we go. So I've seen some people using this technique. It is a far easier way of using gels with the AK-R1 kit, in my honest opinion. Yep, so we have those available too, the square gels. As I said, those are typically used with the optical snoots. However, you can use it with the AK-R1 kit as well. Okay, so I'm just going to show you the effects of the gels. So not just the gels, obviously all the light tube modifiers. So I'm just going to go through them one by one. But if you are still joined, if you're still watching, please do drop me your comments. Please do drop me your questions. I do love interacting with you guys. This is why we do the lives in the first place. Hello, thank you for joining. Do appreciate it. All right, so how much is that round head? All right, so if you have the 8200, the round head attachment is about 2,000 Rand. So that's just one of the interchangeable heads that you can use with the 8200. So with the 8200, you get the bare bulb and you get the Fresnel attachment. But as a separate purchase, you can buy the round head as well. So that just locks into place. Oops, this way around. So just attached onto the 8200 body. So it's about 2,000 Rand. I think it's a worthwhile purchase if you do have the 8100. The quality of light that you get from the round head is just much better. It's more evenly distributed. It's a little bit flatter as opposed to the Fresnel head. Plus, you can obviously attach these fancy light modifiers directly on it. Plus, with that round head, the modeling lamp is just far brighter as well. The modeling lamp that you get stock standard with the 8200 is rather pitiful. It really doesn't give out enough light. So if you are keen on using a modeling lamp with the 8200, I do advise getting that H200R round head. But we also have the V1s available. The V1 is a round head speed light. That's about 4,700 Rand, if I'm not mistaken. And the AD100 is about 5,600 Rand thereabouts. However, at Camera Stuff, we have discounted bundles. So check out our website. So for example, if you buy X and Y together, you get X percentage off it. Okay, so that is what Camera Stuff is well known for, are bundles. So if you buy a couple of products together, you do get the discount with it as well. Right, so just check out our website and see what we have available. All right. Now, before I get to the results, I want to show you another video. So this is from Godox directly, Godox Global, and their ambassador, Aries. And he did a video showcasing the V1 with a variety of different AK-R1 accessories as well. So I'm going to take a back seat for a couple of minutes, so do enjoy the video.
G'day guys, it's your mate Aries Tao, a portrait and wedding photographer based in Sydney, Australia. I love to shoot in natural light, especially when I'm traveling. However, lots of time we have to shoot in a less ideal natural light condition because the sun isn't always doing us favors. In this video, I'm going to discuss how to use Godox V1 to mimic the ideal natural light you want any time of the day. Shoot 1. Create soft ambient light. After checking in the afternoon, the window light is already weak and almost disappeared. So I decide to create my own big and soft light source.
Starts drinking a bit.
Bam! A beautiful morning breakfast photo is created in a room with almost no natural light. So at the corner of the room, there is a cool industrial look wall and lamp. It would be awesome to create a beautiful pocket of light to mimic our sun, to give model extra dimension. So I bounced the first V1 off the wall to light up the model's face. The second V1 is on low power to light up the model's hair. And the third V1 is on camera as fill light.
Just resting. Yeah, relax, beautiful.
3 light setup is easier than ever with smaller flash and smaller light stands. There is a beautiful sunset, however, the building in the background blocks the sun. So I decide to create my own sun. I use one AD200 with full CTO gel to mimic the backlit sun and a V1 as fill light for the model's face. We don't always have the luxury to access the ideal natural light. Isn't that great to pack a couple of V1s in your bag so that you have the freedom to create the look you want any time of the day? This is Aries Tao. I will see you until next time.
All right, the charismatic Aries, as always. So hope you enjoyed that video. So just to show you the different effects that you can get out of the AK-R1 kit. So you saw him use the diffuser dome and the bounce card. You saw him use the CTO gels in particular to recreate that golden hour look. So out of this kit, you have just plenty of options. So I think as a photographer, you need to master the ability to shape your light in any desired results. And this is certainly a good way of going about it using the AK-R1 kit. Yeah, so if you have any questions pertaining to that video, please do shout. I am here and I'll answer to my best capabilities. But on to my slideshow. All right, so in my studio, I just aimed the speed light at a white backdrop just to show you the different effects as to what you're going to get out of these individual light modifiers. So the bare bulb or bare light, that is with nothing attached. And you can see what a job that snoot did. So if a snoot attached to the speed light, it just constrains that amount of light and creates a very, very small spotlight effect. Right, so that is for very directional lighting. If you want to accentuate part of your image, or if you want to illuminate a very small part of your image whilst everything else is underexposed, the snoot is a very classical, very effective way of going about it. So the snoot is designed to create that small spotlight effect. So the grid, in a very similar way, not as extreme as the snoot, but the grid also is designed to constrain the amount of light into a narrow beam, or a narrower beam, should I say. Right, so it also helps to prevent light spillage. So if you aim this at the back of a model, for example, if you want to create that room light, but you want light off the background, the grid is a very useful device for that. Now the barn doors can be shaped in a variety of different ways. So it has the hinged doors, so that allows you to spread light or block light in whichever direction. So here what I did, I allowed the light to spread horizontally, but I constrained the light vertically to kind of create a strip of light. That's not the only thing that you can do with a barn door. You can also open up from 3 sides, but you can close from the other side. All right, so the barn door, very classical light shaper. You can use it in a variety of different ways. Very useful as a backdrop light, or wanting to keep light off the background. Very useful for still life, like toy photography, you may have noticed. And product photography as well. All right, so the dome aimed directly at an object will not contribute much as far as the differences are concerned. But as you may have seen in Eric's video, the magic of a dome is when you bounce it off walls and ceilings, and I'll show you a little bit as to what that looks like as well. Now the plate does just diffuse the light ever so slightly. I think the point of that diffuser plate is just to combine it with different of these light modifiers. So the plate just helps to diffuse the light ever so slightly. All right, so with a bounce card, as you can see, it blocks light from going in whichever direction you position that bounce card in. So here, if you want to restrict light from going to the right-hand side, in this instance, as you can see, just position the bounce card correctly, and you prevent light from going in that direction. So again, a very effective way of keeping light, let's say, off the background, or you want to keep light off certain reflective objects, etc., etc. So it just helps you to control the amount of light, keeping the light precisely where you want it to go. Okay, so here we come to the gels. So CTO, as a reminder, stands for color temperature orange. So that helps you to combat tungsten lighting. So in an environment with a lot of tungsten light, you can attach the CTO gels. That will just help to balance the tungsten lighting. You just need to select the appropriate white balance thereafter. Or as you may have seen in Eric's video, you can use the CTO gels to recreate that glowy sunrise, sunset look as well. So we have a quarter CTO, a half CTO, and a full CTO. That's just referring to the density of the orange itself. So the quarter will be less orange as opposed to the full one. So you can see with the half CTO, that just becomes a little bit more orange, whereas with the full CTO, that becomes the prominent orange effect. And also available is the plus green, so that just helps you to combat fluorescent lighting. So in a typical office environment where you have all of that ugly fluorescent lighting, that's going to create a bit of a green cast on your subject and the environment itself. So if you want to balance that out, just put that plus green on the speed light head itself. That's going to balance the light of the office space. Thereafter, you just need to select the appropriate white balance. All right, so you can use it with a variety of different gel kits as well. So not included with the AK-R1 kit, but we do have those available. So you can add very vibrant, rich gels onto this AK-R1 kit as well. Okay, now back to Carmen in the studio, useful as ever. So now what I did, I used the flash off camera. So it was positioned about 45 degrees away from the camera, aimed directly at Carmen here. So this is the bare flash itself, so nothing attached to it. And this was the grid. So the grid just minimizes light. should I say, constrains light. So it just brings light from that blanket of light and it just constrains it into a narrower beam. So the snoot is just that on steroids, basically. Yeah, so the snoot is a grid on steroids, so it provides a very, very concentrated beam of light. Here with the barn doors, you can use it in a variety of ways, as I said. So you can move the leaves of the barn doors, as they call them, sometimes the leaves of the barn door. But all of these individual doors that you can move about, you can just help to block light and spread light to whichever direction you want it to go. So in this instance, I just wanted light off the right-hand side of the background. So I just moved one of those doors appropriately just to block light from going in that direction. The bounce card, similar purpose. So with a bounce card, you can do that to block light going into one direction. But more effectively, the bounce card is used to bounce light off a ceiling with a light bouncing off the card itself going towards your subject. I'll show you a little bit as to what that looks like. But if you want to block light, as we call it in the industry, if you want to flag light, you can use the bounce card and it will be quite effective at doing that. So the dome, as mentioned, aimed directly at your subject is not going to make a big difference, but the magic of the dome is when you bounce it off walls and ceilings. And the plate, not a big difference as well, but the plate you can use in combination with any of these other lighting modifiers. And obviously, if you want to play around with gels, you can do that as well. All right, so this was me using direct light on a subject. That was the bounce card bouncing off a wall. Should I say the light from a speed light bounced off a ceiling, should I say? And some of that light bounced off the bounce card towards our subject. So let me show you what that looks like. It's a bit of a nasty BTS photo, but as you can see, the speed light aimed directly at the ceiling with a bounce card aimed at our subject. Yeah, so the point of that, let's turn this around. Okay, so if a speed light aimed directly at the ceiling, 80% of the light is going to go up and bounce back onto your subject. But 20% of the light is going to bounce off here towards your subject. Now, the point of that is just to provide a bit of a fill-in light and also a catch light with your eyeballs as well. Right, so without that bounce card, all of the light is going to bounce off the ceiling and go towards your subject, but there may be some raccoon eye effect, if you know what that means, dark eye sockets. There may not be a catch light in the eyes whatsoever. So this bounce card just provides a nice fill-in effect and also a catch light, as mentioned. Okay, this was the effect with the dome aimed directly at the ceiling, and with that dome, it's going to spread light in all directions. As I said, it's a nuclear bomb effect, so light's going to bounce off walls, it's going to bounce off the ceiling. It's going to provide a nice blanket of soft light on our subject. And something that you may have immediately noticed is how that softened the shadow created by our subject, the cast shadow on our backdrop. So let me just go back a couple of steps. That was with direct lighting, so you can see that nasty shadow on the background. But with the dome positioned and with the speed light bouncing off the ceiling itself, you can see how that minimized and diffused that shadow on the background. So it's a very, very effective way to create a soft light if you don't have the space and time to set up a massive softbox. So the dome, very effective, especially if you're an events photographer, wedding photographer, if you need to move on your feet very often. You can just pop the dome on your speed light, bounce it off the ceiling or walls. That will create a very, very nice soft flattering effect on your subject. Okay, again, so with that dome attached to the speed light aimed directly at the ceiling, so the light is going to bounce off the ceiling, off the white walls, etc., and it's going to create a nice big blanket of soft light on our subject, as you may have seen. All right, so that's the end of my presentation. So we are a nice 35 minutes in. So time flew rather quickly, and I wasn't bothered that much by the flying ants, despite there being millions inside of my room here. It's quite a harder sounding environment. You just hear the flapping of the wings around you. So I don't know if you may have noticed a couple buzzing past here, but they are mostly on the floor here. Okay, Yeah, but hopefully they weren't too much of a distraction. Okay, so to reiterate a couple of things, the AK-R1 kit is a flash modifier kit. You get a variety of different flash modifiers within the kit. You get a nice carry case with it. So you get a snoot, a dome, bundles, honeycomb. You get a couple of gels. You get transparent sheets that allow you to sandwich more special effects gels in between. Missing a couple of obvious ones. What did I miss? There we are, the diffuser plate. Yeah, so you get a whole bunch of different things with it. So if you want to see the picture again, yeah, this is everything that you get within the kit itself. So bondle, snoot, bounce card, diffuser plate, dome, the gel holders with a variety of different gels, the honeycomb grid, and the transparent sheets that allow you to use other gels that are not included with it. Okay, so as mentioned, this will go neatly onto the Godox series of roundhead flashes, so the AD100, the V1, and the H200R roundhead flash for the AD200s. But if you don't have any of those, you can use the SR1 adapter that looks like that on the right-hand side. It's a very cheap purchase. It's about 140 Rand thereabouts. You can just attach that to the front of your standard speed light, and that will allow you to use these AK-R1 modifiers. Okay, yeah, so the point of the AK-R1 kit is that it gives you a variety of different options as to how you want to craft your light. So if you want a big light, a concentrated light, if you want a contrasty light, if you want a flat light, if you want to use different colors, if you want to balance the ambient lighting or the color of the lighting, I should say, if you want to create special effects, if you want to create sunrise, sunset vibes in your images, the AK-R1 kit will just give you those many options. So if you want to start off and if you want to play around and experiment with how you want to craft your lighting, which I think in all the photography is probably the most important thing, learning how to modify and craft your lights, the AK-R1 kit is a good accessory to buy for all photographers of all levels. All right, so it's about 1,400 Rand thereabouts, but we do have the bundle. With it, you get the adapter for free, basically, right? So if you buy two of them together, you get a 15% discount. So virtually you get that adapter for free. So we have that available at Camera Stuff. Do check out our website. Just type in AK-R1 kit or just go about searching our website. You'll find that bundle. If not, make use of our live chat facilities. You can WhatsApp us, you can email us, you can phone us, you can reach us in a variety of different ways if you need help. We are more than willing to do so. All right, so if you're still watching, I see we still have a nice crowd. But not many comments, not many questions. So I'm a little bit disappointed. So if you want to get involved, please do ask your questions. Do drop your comments. As I said, there's a reason why we do these live is to interact with you guys. So if you have any questions pertaining to the AK-R1 kit or anything else for that matter, do drop a comment. All right, so in the meantime, I am going to replay those videos. So the first video is going to start in a moment. And I think I'm going to do commentary over it. Now, so as mentioned, I did this video at the start of lockdown. So as I said, it brings back some memories, the spooky times of lockdown. Okay, at this point, if you make your purchase of the AK-R1 kit, take a photo of how everything is arranged in that carry case, because, as I said, I don't know how they managed to squeeze everything in there. But yeah, so it's a bit of a Tetris game to get everything back in that carry case. So just take a photo and see how everything was arranged if you want to squeeze everything back in a carry case where they came from. Yeah, so just to present it a bit better, so you can see with that bounce card, you can reverse it, so black on one side or white on the other side. So you can take that card off and pop it back into place. All right, so that is the H200R round head attachment for the AD200. That is also compatible with the AD100 and for Godox V1 speedlight as well. All right, so if you don't have one of those fancy round head flashes, what you can buy is the Godox AD100. This is a separate purchase. So this allows you to use these fancy magnet modifiers on standard speedlights. All right, so these gels, you get a variety of different kits available. So the V11C, that's a special effects kit. So that includes the vibrant variety of different colors, whereas the V11T, that includes the color temperature gels. So the ones that are designed to balance out ambient lighting. So you have the CTOs, the plus greens, you have the purple ones also that balance out LED lighting as well. Yeah, there you can see a bit of presentation of it. So you have those transparent sheets. So you clip one in, and you can use any of those circular gels to sandwich it in between a different transparent sheet. All right, so again, that's everything that you get within the AK-R1 kit. So I see no questions, I see no comments, so hopefully next time you guys have your questions or comments ready. And as I usually say, if you don't have questions, that means I did a good job with my presentation. So I can give myself a pat on the back regarding that. All right, so I think that's going to be it from my side, unless all of you drop questions all at once. Go. Tap, 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 tap. Go, now. I can see you want to drop a question. Tap, 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 tap. Any question. You can even ask me how my day was. Go, do it. All right, now I'm just joking. So, yep, so that's going to be it from my side. So, yeah, that was the Godox AK-R1 kit. So we have it available at Camera Stuff, obviously. We have the discounted bundles. If you need any other help with your purchases or anything else, as I said, we have a variety of different ways as to how you can reach us. You can WhatsApp us, you can use our live chat facilities online, you can email us, you can call us, etc., etc. Maybe one day we'll accept smoke signals as well. All right, but until then, thank you for joining. My name is Conrad on behalf of Camera Stuff. Hope you have a pleasant night further without any flying ants interrupting your night further. Right, so that's it from my side. Do enjoy your night further. And now for the awkward silence at the end.